This video is going to be a quick product review of these two guns for concealed carry. These are smaller guns than, these are mainly designed for like concealed carry. They're smaller type of guns. So here we got a Glock right here on the bottom. This one is a Glock 26. It's a 9mm. This is the bullet right here, 9mm. And then you got a Beretta right there. This is a 38 caliber Beretta. And this is the bullet here. So you notice that it's a different caliber bullet. The 38 is going to be smaller than the 9mm. If you can see it right there. Okay, so I weighed both guns with it loaded. They both hold 10 rounds. This one holds 10. This one holds 10. Alright, so with weighing both of them, they almost weigh the same, but this one weighs just a little bit lighter. The thing about the Glock, it's very tactical. It fires extremely fast, and they say that there's a safety, which is this little trigger button here, but I don't really consider that a safety. This gun pretty much almost doesn't even have a safety. So even though it's more tactical, it shoots really fast. If you want to do it for competition shooting, this would be the gun to go to. If you want to shoot really quickly, a lot of rounds very quickly, then this is the gun that's going to do it. The first trigger pull is almost like a single action, meaning it's not a long trigger pull. So meaning if this thing is loaded and I pull the trigger, I don't have to put much effort, and then it's already going to shoot right there. Okay. This, on the other hand, this is a lot safer. This Beretta is a lot safer. There's going to be less chance for accidents because there's a safety switch right here that just goes up and down. Right now it's on safety. You pull it down, then it's ready to fire. Okay. You put it on safety, you pull the trigger, then nothing happens. Okay. Once you put it off safety, then it's gonna be a trigger pull that's gonna be a good amount of pressure. They call it like a double action. I gotta put a good amount of pressure. The hammer's gonna go back, and then finally it shoots, and then after that it's gonna be a single action. It'll be something similar to this. After the first shot, it's gonna be a single action like that. Okay, so it's a long trigger pull that makes it safer. It's got a safety here, which makes it safer. Another thing is too, if the magazine is not in the gun, then even if there's a round in the chamber, it still won't fire. It just won't fire. The magazine has to be in the gun in order for it to fire. So that in itself becomes another safety measure as well. The nice thing about the Beretta is that it's very safe. A lot safer than the Glock. The Glock, if you have a round in a chamber, anybody could get a hold of this, a kid or whoever, and all they gotta do is pull the trigger and then boom, then the gun's gonna shoot and fire. But this, on the other hand, the person has to learn how to take it off safety, and then the trigger pull, it takes a good amount of pressure. It's a double action. You gotta really pull at it in order for it to fire. Okay, so I'd say that this is good for safety. This one is really good as far as shooting extremely fast, and but you just have to be very careful with this gun right here. So I mean, I like both guns, but I think that this one is better as far as safety is concerned, because I feel that safety is extremely important. I really like the idea of having the safety on and off right here, but there's pretty much non-existent for this gun. They're both relatively easy to break down. The Glock is a lot easier to break down. This one's a little bit harder, in my opinion, to break down and put back together. It just takes a little bit more time. You just gotta figure out how to do it though. But this one is easy, very easy to break down. So this Glock is very popular. The Beretta is very popular too. These are very popular guns. I'm just going over the advantages and disadvantages of each. It seems like there's more metal in this, so it seems to be a little bit heavier than this one right here, because this part right here is like a very hard type of plastic, this bottom piece right here, and then the slide is full metal. But right here, this whole piece right here is metal. This is metal up here, and it's just the handle that's just kind of like a hard plastic. And both high quality guns, but I would say the people that are more concerned about safety, they should definitely go with the Beretta. But the people that really know what they're doing, and you have to be very careful with this Glock. If there's a round in the chamber, this thing will fire very easily. Okay, the trigger pull is very light, and there's pretty much no safety mechanism in this gun. So that's my product review for these two guns. Alright, this video is about which gun is better, the Glock 26 or the Beretta. Alright, the Beretta, this is a 38 caliber Beretta, this is a 9mm Glock. Which one is better? Well, I'm going to go over some of the benefits of both. First, I'm going to go over the Glock. One of the benefits of the Glock is that it's highly efficient. I mean, it really shoots very quickly. It's very deadly. Like you could get off a lot of rounds very fast. You know, it's well built. It lasts long. It like never gets jammed. It never gets jammed. Like it rarely ever gets jammed. It's very well built. It lasts very long. It's a great gun. It doesn't even cost that much money either. You know, and it's easy to break down. Very easy to break down. The only thing is that's wrong with the Glock that I'd say one of the disadvantages is that there's really not much of a safety mechanism in here. Like there's no safety. Like really, the only thing that they really have is this little slight trigger thing right here. That's considered the safety. But really, it's really not really much of a safety. Okay, when you shoot the Glock, it's almost like a single. It's like a single action throughout. Like there's not a double action at all. All you gotta do is rack it, chamber it, and then all of a sudden you just shoot, boom, and then boom, 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 boom. That's pretty much how it works. The first trigger pull is gonna be the longest one, which is basically just like this. And then right after that, it's just going to be like a slight, very small trigger pull. That's why you could shoot so many at once. I'd say that's the only thing that I see that's really not that good with the Glock, is that the lack of safety features. But other than that, it's a highly efficient gun, very durable, and it's an amazing gun. Okay, like amazing. So that's my feedback on the Glock. You know, so now we talk about the Beretta. This is my first time firing it today, and it's a really nice gun as well. More of the gun is made out of metal, so it's gonna be a little bit heavier than the Glock. But one thing about the Glock that I just showed is that the Glock is actually a 9mm. This is like a concealed carry version, like a smaller version of a Glock. It's actually 9mm. So the caliber of this one is going to be more than this one. This is a 38. So actually the bullets for this one, since it's a bigger bullet, it's going to actually be more effective, you know, than this one. So that's another added advantage of this specific Glock compared to this gun, is that it's a higher caliber. You notice that they're almost the same size, the guns. They're like pretty much almost the same. You see how similar they are. Actually, the Glock might be a little bit smaller if you put in comparison. The handle for the Beretta is actually bigger. Okay. But the Glock weighs less, and they're very similar in size for concealed carry. This one might be just a little bit bigger because of the handle. So the Glock is very efficient, 9mm. Now this Beretta right here, the nice thing that I like about it is this safety right here. There's a safety switch right here that you could put. Now it's off safety. It's on safety. Off, on. Okay. And it has a double action. I don't have the magazine in here, but basically if you don't have the magazine in there, it won't fire. Even if there is one in the chamber, it won't fire. It will just go like this. You have to have the magazine in there in order for it to fire, so that's another safety feature. It's harder to break down. This gun's a little bit harder to break down than the Glock, and it's also a little bit harder to put together after you break it down, just a little bit. And the first trigger pull is a long one. Okay, it's a long trigger pull, and then after that, after the first shot, then it's going to be a short trigger pull like this. So it's going to be very similar to the Glock, but it has that double action where this is going to cock back and then shoot forward, you know. But I don't have the magazine in there to show how it works like that. But pretty much the first one is a double action where this comes back and it shoots forward, and then after that it's a single action after that. I shot the gun. It shoots very well. Very great gun. The thing about it that makes this different than a Glock to me is the added safety features. Okay, it's a safer gun. If I had one in the chamber right now, it'd be safer than the Glock, because first I'd have to take it off safety, and then I have a long trigger pull in order to fire the first shot. That makes it safer. Okay, because if a kid got a hold of the gun and there's one in the chamber, they would have to learn how to take it off safety, and then they'd have to have enough strength to pull this down to have a double action where it's going to fire the first shot. So it's more safe. It's more safe. Okay, but whereas the Glock, if there was one in the chamber, there's no real safety. So all the kid has to do is just pull this right here, and it's a very short pull. It doesn't require much strength at all, and then boom, then it's gonna fire. So it's a very, very quick to shoot, which makes it very unsafe, and they could result in a lot of accidental fires. But whereas the Beretta, once again, as stated, it's on safety. If there's one in the chamber, you got to take it off safety, and then you got a long trigger pull. Okay, that'd be one of the biggest things that I'd say about the Beretta that makes it safer. In addition, if you take the magazine out, even if there's one in the chamber, it still won't fire. Okay, so this could prevent a lot of accidental fires of the shot of the gun, and then when you shoot, it's very efficient. It's just a long trigger pull for the first shot. After that, single trigger or single action firing. But if you compared both of them, you know, the Beretta to the Glock, and which one actually shoots faster, the Glock's gonna shoot faster. Okay. And once again, the Glock is a 9mm. This is a 38, so this is a smaller caliber. The Glock weighs less. This one weighs more. Okay. As far as size, the Glock seems to be just a little bit smaller as well. So they're both great guns. I love both of them, but I would say I'd pick the Glock because of all the advantages. Another thing about the Beretta, it did jam up on me a few times when I was like testing the gun, and I was like racking it back. Maybe I didn't rack it back hard enough, but it jammed a few times, and I had to figure out like what was causing the jam. So basically, the Beretta is gonna jam up easier than the Glock. The Glock really never jams up, but the Beretta takes some, it could jam up on you sometimes. Okay, so that's my product review of these two firearms. They're both great. But once again, in my opinion, the Glock wins out.